China's infrastructure once again took action to help Bangladesh become the #1 in South Asia, but India was not happy with it and was slapped in the face. Let's take a closer look in this video. India is really ashamed this time. Every time they are on the hot search news is always unexpected. India is also extremely confident in itself and feels that its infrastructure capabilities can be world-renowned. It even arrogantly claims that its infrastructure strength has already surpassed that of China, and is confident that it will block the Bangladesh Power Super Project. Unexpectedly, just after taking over, an explosion occurred in his own country. This also made India lose face and missed out on this huge order worth hundreds of millions. After China infrastructure took over it built the largest super project in South Asia. With this, Bangladesh has officially become the first country in South Asia to achieve nationwide electrification. India stamped her feet angrily. So what kind of infrastructure project is this that makes the proud Indians admit defeat? How did China complete this project? Bangladesh is located in South Asia, adjacent to Myanmar in the southeast, surrounded by India on the north, east and west, and facing the Bay of Bengal in the south. Its land area is 147,570 square kilometers and its population is about 165 million. This is one of the most densely populated countries in the world, but due to various historical factors, the country's economic development has been slow. The manufacturing industry, represented by garment exports, is the main driver of Bangladesh's economic growth. However, in order to transform from an agricultural country into a manufacturing powerhouse, electricity supply is particularly critical. Before the completion of this coal power station, even 3% of Bangladesh's population did not have access to electricity, and insufficient power supply has become one of the obstacles to the country's economic growth. Therefore, in order to develop the national economy, Bangladesh decided to start building a power station after some thought. Bangladesh saw that the construction of China's Three Gorges Hydropower Station provided China with a large amount of electricity, so it put its hope on China and hoped to reach cooperation with China. In 2016, China and Bangladesh reached a cooperation agreement. China would help Bangladesh complete the coal-fired power station. It was planned to complete the operation of the project within 6 years. Finally, in March 2022, this power station that Bangladesh has been looking forward to was successfully completed. The completion of the power station did not disappoint Bangladesh. After its completion, it also brought light to thousands of households in Bangladesh and solved the local power crisis. Even Bangladesh has become a country without power supply in South Asia. It is believed that in the near future, this power station will become the main artery of Bangladesh's power generation. Not only that, Bangladesh is also the first country in South Asia to have electricity throughout the country. And this is something that even its neighbor in South Asia, India, known as the world power, has not been able to achieve this in 75 years since its founding in 1974. Although India's power grid coverage rate is claimed to have reached 98%, there is a lot of water behind this figure. Just like India's road mileage, although the paper data ranks second in the world, even higher than China's, India's data even includes rural dirt roads, which is not qualified by Chinese standards. Indians can even count the mileage of roads, so it is not surprising that some water is added to the coverage of the power grid. The power grid coverage is not as good as that of Bangladesh. What's more, India is still struggling with power supply issues recently. A huge India is now in the midst of a power shortage crisis. It needs to be mentioned that India's electricity production is very dependent on coal, and 70% of the country's electricity still comes from coal. The already huge demand for coal has encountered an increase in people's demand for electricity. For example, in the high-temperature season, a situation will appear in India, that is, the supply of coal is insufficient, electricity cannot be produced, and large-scale power outages occur. Affected by the above factors, every year India basically suffers from a power shortage during this hot weather. Recently, the power shortage in India has not only affected the normal life of the people, but also caused some Indian companies to cut production and reject domestic and foreign orders. At the critical moment when the manufacturing industry urgently needs economic recovery, it is undoubtedly a big blow to these companies. On the contrary, with the help of China, Bangladesh has realized that thousands of houses are brightly lit, and India should worry about it again. China built power station for Bangladesh, making Bangladesh generate more electricity than India. For this reason, the president of Bangladesh thanked him for attending in person, and said that if he builds a power station project in the future, he will only reach cooperation with China. In fact, the Bangladesh Power Station Cooperation did not choose China at the beginning, but chose its neighbor India. Because India is closer to Bangladesh, it is more convenient. However, the occurrence of an accident in India directly changed Bangladesh's thinking, and finally gave up India and chose to cooperate with China. You know, India's power plants are using coal on a large scale. For this reason, the coal in India is also decreasing day by day, and it will soon reach the point where there will be no charcoal to burn. The summer in India is very hot. If there is no electricity, the summer of the Indian people will be very difficult. As far as this summer is concerned, the weather in India has reached a high temperature of more than 50 degrees, and the temperature in previous years is also comparable. The hot summer makes life miserable for the impoverished people in India. Due to the overloading of Indian power, an explosion occurred at a power station in Tamil Nadu, India. The explosion killed 6 people and injured 17 people in India. According to Indian media reports, the main reason for the accident was the explosion caused by improper use of electricity, but the government did not admit its mistake. Because when India built power stations, they only focused on quantity and ignored quality issues. That is to say, there were no safety measures, which led to this major safety accident. No wonder Bangladesh finally decided to seek help from China. In addition to the construction of power stations, there are many projects in the Belt and Road construction cooperation between China and Bangladesh that will be completed this year. These projects are expected to make significant contributions to Bangladesh's economic growth and will also strongly support Bangladesh in getting rid of the title of least developed country. In fact, these are all manifestations of the great gospel that China's Belt and Road project has brought to Bangladesh. However, in spite of China's good intentions, India has often followed the US argument in recent years, launching attacks on the Belt and Road projects and imposing unfounded charges such as debt trap and economic coercion on China. However, a lie is a lie after all, and cannot stand the scrutiny of time. China's One Belt, One Road project has achieved many dazzling achievements not only in Bangladesh but also in many countries around the world. It has brought economic development to cooperating countries, brought many opportunities for local employment, and improved local people's livelihood. India, which clings to the thigh of the United States, besides a few words of praise from the United States, what benefits has it gained? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more great content. See you next time.